In this video, we're going to be using the single purchasing option of the connector interface to define 3 purchasing options, all mapping to single articles of the mock web page. So that means that at the end of this video, what we should be seeing is a purchase overlay displayed over article 1, 2, and 3. However, just to make things a little bit more exciting, we're going to be adding different prices to these articles. Also, unlike the scenario where we were bundling articles together, here we're going to be separating them. So that means that buying an article 1 would result in only buying that article, and whereas article 2 and 3 would still remain blocked to the non-paying user. Let's just remind ourselves one thing before we go into the connector dashboard configuration. We need to include the connector script on every article that is on every article page in its source code before we apply the configuration on it. So just to remind you, this looks something like this. So we basically just need to include this snippet here in order to be able to load the assets required for the paywall. Let's go back into the configuration now, and let's click on Connector Dashboard, where we see our familiar Single Purchases dashboard. Clicking on a plus sign here enables us to define a new single purchase. So let's define one with the title Econ Art 1. The exact path that we will be using here, because remember we're selling individual articles with individual purchase options. So we're just going to use our second part of our URL, that is the prefix and the article identifier. I'm going to put it like this. Let's say that this is going to cost something like 20 cents of a pay later, and clicking on single purchase template, we associate a template to this purchasing option as well, so we can save it. And now we see that a single purchase was created. Now let's go to our economist article 1, let's reload it, and it works. We can see that this article is being sold for 20 cents. Economist article 2 is still visible, there is no paywall being shown, and that is of course for the reason that we did not add these URLs onto the list of URLs that are going to be behind the paywall. Let's do this, however, by separating it into individual single purchases. So let's just repeat this process for Economist article 2. And let's copy in the URL as well. Let's say this one was going to cost 30 cents. Pay later. Let's associate it with the template. Let's verify if it worked. So it worked. So you saw we created a second single purchase. And let's just create a third one now as well. So it's going to be, it's going to be Economist article 3. Let's take the path here as well and copy it in. Pay later, and let's say that this one is very valuable, so it costs 80 cents more than the other ones. Associating it with a template. Okay, so we have defined 3 single purchases, all individually linked to 3 articles. And in fact, the outcome of this video is what I've mentioned at the beginning as well, that we will have 3 different paywalls, 3 different purchase overlays, that is, with 3 different prices, 0.20, 0.30, and 0.80. Of course, buying Economist article 3, for example, would unlock only this article, and 2 and 1 would stay behind the paywall.